Hey everyone, my name is Riley and today I wanted to walk you guys through how I use my bullet journal throughout the week. So the kinds of things that I do at the beginning of the week and what I do every single day to keep up with my bullet journal. So if you guys watched my recent video about 5 different mistakes that I've made in my bullet journaling journey, you will know that I had a hard time nailing down a daily and weekly bullet journaling routine that worked for me. And if you're in a similar rut or maybe experiencing something different, I'm going to link that video up above because I talk about the 5 big mistakes or big things that I did in bullet journaling that made it so much less enjoyable to me. So if that's what you're looking for, head over to that video. But if you just want to know kind of how I came up with a daily and weekly journaling routine that worked for me, stay tuned because that's what this video will be all about. So for the longest time, I would just use my bullet journal the way that I saw other people using it on social media. So I would go over to Pinterest and Instagram and I would see all these weekly layouts that were always very like structured. So usually they had like a box for each day, whether that box was like tall or long, whatever shape, doesn't matter. There was usually similar things, a box for each day, maybe a task list, maybe a miniature calendar and some doodles. And that was pretty much it. So for the first like 2 years of my journaling journey, that's kind of just what I thought a weekly spread was. And it didn't really seem to serve me very well, but I didn't really know what to do about it because that's all I knew. But earlier this year, I decided to really sit down and hammer out exactly what I was hoping to gain from my daily and weekly journaling in order to really benefit my productivity and my lifestyle. So let's head over to my journal. And if you guys enjoy this content, please join me here on my channel by subscribing. All right, so the first part of my weekly routine is to set up just this sort of page over here, which I always like to call my weekly dashboard. It just kind of is an overview of the week for me. So right now it's Friday, October 29th. So usually on Thursday or Friday, I will set up my little weekly dashboard for the next week. So this is the dashboard I used this week. And as you can see, it's got a spot for just like daily events over here, and then a spot for tasks. Those are kind of my 2 must-have pieces of a little weekly dashboard. And then other than that, it has some decorations, and then I often leave space for either a quote or maybe a miniature habit tracker or just some extra doodles, or sometimes I'll just leave it empty and then during the week, if I take a picture or something that I want to paste in, I'll print it out with my little portable printer, or I'll write down something fun that happens during the week. So that's kind of what the weekly dashboard is like. And like I said, I usually set that up the Thursday or Friday before, often as an Instagram reel. So I'm going to link my Instagram account below in case you want to see some of those weekly dashboard setups. So right now I'm going to go ahead and set up my weekly dashboard for next week with you guys. Alright, so here you can see the weekly dashboard that I made for next week. So like I said, it's always got a spot for events. So I've got Monday through to the weekend over here, and then a spot for my tasks. And this time I decided to use a little bit of extra space for the doodles instead of adding like a habit tracker or a little quote or something like that. So I do this once a week. It takes me like 10 to 15 minutes, and this is really the only part of my daily and weekly journaling routine that involves like doodling. Other than that, it's very functional and not as much about the looks, but once a week I do like to sit down and just kind of relax and do some doodling that goes along with my monthly theme. So once I've got this set up, sometime on the weekend, usually like a Saturday or Sunday, I will go through and actually write in all of my events and my tasks. So to do that, I go to my monthly pages. So this is the month that I just recently set up in my journal, so I haven't filled in any memories or anything like that. What I have done is put in lots of my events and also my YouTube videos. So I always flip back to my monthly calendar here, and then also my monthly tasks page. And I use the information from these two pages to fill in the different events that I have, and then also which tasks I want to tackle that week. So that's what I'm going to go and do right now. Alright, so now I've got my main tasks. This list always grows throughout the week, but before I start the week, I just kind of like to write down the big things that I know I have to do. And same with the events. I always end up adding a bunch of events as the week actually goes on. But for right now, this is what my week looks like for events. So I always use a little circle for like the tasks that need to be done on that specific day. Like for example, on Monday, I need to upload a YouTube video. So I use a little circle for the task, and then I use a square over here. So I help with an ESL group on Wednesdays. So I have a square for an event. And the little S over here, I plan out all of my suppers as well down here. So I use a circle for tasks, square for events, and then S for suppers so that I can just plan that out at the beginning of the week. So that's all that I do for my weekly dashboard. I will come back to you guys on Sunday night to start planning out Monday. All right, hi everyone. It is Sunday evening and I'm ready to sit down and plan Monday. So now that I've got my weekly dashboard, the rest of my week, I'm just gonna do the night before. So for this part, I don't really do much decorating. It's very minimal and just practical. So I'm going to start off just by writing a header for Monday. So usually my header is just something quick like this, just some calligraphy for that day. Now at the top with the header, I write down a couple of things. So first I put down an S for supper. So I actually still haven't sat down and planned my meals for this week. So I'm gonna leave that. I'm gonna go plan my meals sometime after this. So I write down supper, and the reason I do that is because once I fill up this page, which will probably be on Tuesday, I'm gonna flip over to Wednesday, and then I don't wanna always have to be flipping back to see my tasks and even my supper plans. So I always write supper up beside my little header, and then I also put a star. And that is my priority for the day. So since Monday is actually November 1st, I always like to do kind of a beginning of the month, not really like assessment, but kind of like seeing where I'm at on YouTube and with my bullet journal and stuff and doing that. So I'm just gonna write October recap as my priority for the day. So those are the two things that I put right up at the top with my header. Now underneath the header, I divide it into 3 sections. So actually I think I'm gonna use gray for this. And I make a little heading that is 8 dot grid spaces long. So 2, 4, 6, 8, and then a gap, 2, 4, 6, 8, and then another one. So these little headings are for morning, afternoon, and evening, and I always just do like a little sunshine. So the morning symbol is like half a sun as though it's rising, and then the afternoon one is a full sun, and then in the evening I just do a little crescent moon, and then I usually write in morning, afternoon, and evening as well. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and just fill this in with what I wanna get done during the day. I do work from home, so that's why I like to separate things by morning, afternoon, and evening. I don't really like to time block and like assign things to specific hours, but I do like to kind of outline my day instead of just having a big overflowing task list for Monday. So lots of the items that I write down are kind of parts of my routine, like for example, exercise and washing my face and stuff like that, but lots of them are more specific to that day as well. All right, so as of right now, this is all that I can think of to do on Monday. So oftentimes my morning consists of more like routine things and kind of, I don't know, like admin sort of stuff, like my emails and going in and editing like YouTube descriptions. Oh, I forgot to write post Instagram. I usually try to do that in the morning too, otherwise I forget about it. So the morning is kind of like boring tasks, and then the afternoon is usually when I'll like sit down at my desk and just like work on a journal for hours. And then the evenings, on evenings when my husband is home, the evening column is pretty sparse, but on the evenings when he's at work, it's super full because I try to pack a bunch of stuff into those evenings. So anyways, this is what I would typically do the night before. And then I'm gonna go in and actually fill in all these circles come Monday when I actually complete these events. Now, the last part of my daily journaling routine, and something that doesn't really go along with my bullet journal, is my 1 line a day journal. So I showed this at the very beginning of the year, and lots of you guys seem to love this idea. I've been doing this for like 6 years now. So this is the 1 line a day journal, a 5-year memory book. I got it from Amazon, and I'm gonna link it down in the description. So how it works is every day you write down just a few lines about that day. So I don't want to show you the ones I've already filled in, but anyways, here's for November 14th. So this year I would write down like 2021 up here, and then on November 14th, I'll write down a few sentences about what happens that day. Then next year on November 14th, when I come to write down, you know, what happens in 2022, I can also look back and see what I was doing a year ago. So this is my absolute favorite way to just like keep track of the little memories that you would otherwise forget, just everyday things. And then every year your list like grows, you know, like by whatever 2025, I'm going to be able to look back and see what I was doing for a whole bunch of years, and it's going to be really cool. So I am going to link this in the description. This is kind of the final part of my daily journaling routine because I always do this right before bed. So I wanted to go to one of my old journals and show you guys some of the weekly spreads that I used to do that just really did not work for me. So for example, lots of these I didn't even use because I just like drew them, honestly, mostly to take pictures of them, and then realized like, hey, this isn't functional for me. So I cannot make like just little boxes like this work. I need a place where I can organize my day into morning, afternoon, evening, or whatever, something more than just a tiny little box. So again, similar idea here. Also, you can see the pages of this journal are so see-through, which I just had no patience for. But these are the kind of weekly spreads that I used to do just because, you know, I saw them on Pinterest, thought they were so cute, but really they just do not work for my life. Thank you guys for joining me to check out what my daily and weekly journaling routine is like. If you guys enjoyed it, please do like and subscribe to my channel, and I do hope to see you guys in the next video.